I was in the middle of a seemingly ordinary evening, one that had started like any other, with the hum of my favorite jazz playlist in the background and a quiet dinner at home, when a sudden app notification jolted me out of my routine. I had just finished a long day at work, my mind filled with spreadsheets and endless emails, when my phone buzzed insistently. Expecting another reminder or a mundane update, I glanced at the screen only to see a message that sent a shiver of anticipation down my spine. Tonight, 9 p.m. Suite 1203. Be ready for a decadent dinner date. The message was succinct, almost cryptic, and it left me questioning every detail. There was no signature, no explanation, only an invitation cloaked in mystery. At first, I was incredulous. My phone rarely sent notifications that deviated from my usual routine, and I knew the app in question was one I had installed years ago to track my travel and dining experiences. It wasn't known for sending surprise messages. My heart began to race as I reread the notification, wondering if it was a prank or perhaps a glitch in the system. But the details were too precise: the time, the suite number, and the promise of a decadent dinner date at a luxurious hotel suite in the heart of the city. I remembered glimpses of a place I had passed on my evening walks, a stately hotel with grand lobbies and a reputation for exclusivity. I had never set foot inside, always assuming such luxury was reserved for others. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, I found myself at a crossroads. Every rational voice in my head warned me of potential danger or a trap. But there was also an undeniable allure, a call to break free from the monotony of my everyday life. I had spent years in a routine that left little room for spontaneity, a series of predictable days punctuated by small, unremarkable nights. The promise of mystery and decadence stirred something within me that had long been dormant. That night, I decided to embrace the uncertainty. I quickly changed into a smart, dark dress I hadn't worn in months, one that made me feel both elegant and bold, and checked my appearance in the mirror. As I applied a touch of red lipstick, my hands trembled slightly. I wasn't entirely sure what I was getting myself into, but the excitement of an unknown adventure was irresistible. I left my apartment with a mix of nerves and anticipation, my mind swirling with questions. Who had sent the message? Was it even meant for me? And if so, why now? The cab ride through the city was a blur of neon lights and rain-slicked streets. I couldn't help but glance out the window, imagining that each reflection of the cityscape held hidden stories of secret meetings and whispered promises. The app's notification replayed in my mind like a tantalizing refrain. As the cab pulled up in front of the hotel, a sense of destiny washed over me. The building loomed large and grand, its facade illuminated by soft, ambient lights that hinted at a bygone era of opulence and charm. I paid the driver and stepped out, feeling a surge of excitement that mingled with a trace of apprehension. Inside, the hotel lobby was everything I had imagined and more, a blend of modern luxury and timeless elegance. Marble floors, intricate moldings, and chandeliers that cast a warm, inviting glow greeted me as I approached the reception desk. I inquired discreetly about Suite 1203, and the attendant, a gentleman with a courteous smile, nodded as if he were in on a secret. "Follow me," he said quietly, and led me through a series of corridors that felt like the passageways of a grand palace. I arrived at the door to Suite 1203, a heavy oak door adorned with a polished brass plate. My hand hesitated for a moment before I knocked softly. The sound of my knock echoed in the quiet hallway. Seconds later, the door swung open to reveal a spacious, softly lit suite that exuded an air of understated luxury. Velvet drapes framed large windows overlooking the glittering cityscape, and a single candle flickered on a side table in a room that was decorated with modern art and antique accents. There was a table set for two in the center of the room, complete with fine china, crystal glasses, and an arrangement of fresh flowers that filled the air with a subtle, intoxicating fragrance. I stepped inside, heart pounding, and closed the door behind me. The suite was silent except for the soft strains of a piano playing in the background, a melody that seemed to weave through the room like a secret message. There was no immediate sign of another person, only the inviting ambience of a dinner that promised to be both decadent and mysterious. I took a tentative step forward, my eyes scanning every detail, the rich textures of the furnishings, the carefully curated art pieces, and the gentle interplay of light and shadow that created an almost dreamlike quality. I sat at the table, still uncertain about the evening's events, and slowly sipped a glass of sparkling water left for me as if by unseen hands. My mind raced through scenarios. Perhaps this was an elaborate marketing stunt, a performance art piece, or even a romantic setup arranged by someone who had observed me from afar. The notion was both flattering and disconcerting. My phone vibrated again, and a new message appeared: "Enjoy your meal." I'll join you shortly. There was no name attached, only the promise of another presence. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours as I waited in a blend of excitement and mild anxiety. The silence of the suite, punctuated by the gentle piano, seemed to amplify my every thought. I allowed my mind to wander, recalling past moments when I had chosen safety over risk, routine over passion. Tonight, however, felt different. It was a call to embrace the unknown, to let life surprise me in ways I had long denied myself. Just as I was beginning to wonder if the entire setup was a figment of an overactive imagination, the door opened once again. A tall, elegantly dressed woman entered, her presence as graceful as the soft melody that filled the room. Her eyes met mine with an understanding that went beyond words, and she offered a warm smile that put me at ease. "I'm Celeste," she said softly, extending a hand in greeting. "I'm delighted you could join us tonight." Her voice was gentle yet confident, carrying an air of sophistication that resonated with the ambience of the suite. I shook her hand, feeling a spark of recognition as though she had been a part of my dreams all along. Celeste moved to the dining table and took a seat across from me, her poise and ease a stark contrast to my lingering uncertainty. "I know this might seem sudden," she continued, "but tonight is about celebrating the beauty of spontaneity. Life offers us these rare moments when we can break free from our routines and experience something truly magical. I sent the notification because I believe you're ready for it." Her words were both enigmatic and reassuring, and I found myself nodding in agreement, even as my mind struggled to catch up with the emotions swirling inside me. As if on cue, a door on the opposite side of the suite opened, and a handsome man entered. He was impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, his hair neatly combed, and his gaze warm yet mysterious. "Good evening," he greeted, his tone carrying the refined cadence of someone accustomed to orchestrating moments of elegance. "I'm Adrian. I apologize for the secrecy, but tonight's dinner is a carefully curated experience, a blend of culinary artistry, meaningful conversation, and a touch of romance. I assure you, you're in for an unforgettable evening." His introduction, like Celeste's, felt part of a well-rehearsed script, yet every word he spoke resonated with sincerity. Now, at the head of the table sat three of us, myself, Celeste, and Adrian, forming an unlikely trio brought together by a series of cryptic messages and a shared desire to explore life's hidden pleasures. Adrian gestured to the table as he took a seat at the opposite end from me. "Please, relax and allow the evening to unfold naturally," he said, his eyes twinkling with quiet excitement. "Our dinner has been designed to evoke emotion and stimulate the senses. Each course will reveal a new facet of flavor and meaning. We want you to be present, to truly experience the magic of this moment." I found myself relaxing, my earlier apprehensions gradually melting away under the gentle guidance of their presence. The first course arrived, a delicate amuse-bouche that was as much a work of art as it was a burst of flavor. Its composition was simple yet profound, a reminder that beauty often lies in the smallest details. As I savored the bite, I felt an unexpected surge of emotion, a mingling of nostalgia, hope, and an overwhelming sense of possibility. The conversation around the table began in soft murmurs. Celeste spoke of her passion for curating experiences that transcended the ordinary, a passion born from years of searching for deeper meaning in a world that often prioritized convenience over connection. Adrian shared tales of his travels, of evenings spent in far-off cities where every meal was a symphony of local flavors and hidden traditions. Their words were vivid and evocative, painting pictures of places and moments that seemed both exotic and intimately familiar. I found myself opening up, recounting memories of a past that had been marked by routine and missed opportunities. I told them of the countless times I had chosen familiarity over risk, of the dreams I had set aside in the pursuit of security. As I spoke, I noticed how their eyes lit up with empathy and understanding. It was as if they, too, had once been caught in the trap of a predictable life, only to break free and discover the transformative power of spontaneity. The evening became a tapestry of shared stories, each narrative a thread woven into a greater picture of human experience, a picture that celebrated the vulnerability, beauty, and resilience of the soul. Between courses, the soft strains of the piano and the flickering candlelight seemed to conspire with our words, creating an atmosphere that was both intimate and transcendent. Adrian explained that each dish was carefully selected to evoke specific emotions, a symphony of taste that mirrored the ebb and flow of our lives. The second course arrived, a rich, velvety soup that warmed me from the inside out, its flavors deep and complex, much like the stories we were sharing. With every bite, I felt a connection to something larger than myself, a reminder that even the simplest moments could hold profound meaning. As the dinner progressed, the conversation took on an even more reflective tone. Celeste confided that the idea for tonight's gathering had been born during a difficult period in her life, a time when she had felt lost in the monotony of everyday existence. In that moment of vulnerability, she had vowed never to let fear dictate her choices again. Tonight, she explained, was a testament to that promise, a celebration of the unexpected and a tribute to the transformative power of embracing life's uncertainties. I listened, captivated by her words, feeling as if each syllable was a key unlocking parts of my own guarded heart. The decadent ambience of the suite, the exquisite flavors on my tongue, and the gentle cadence of our conversation coalesced into an experience that felt both surreal and deeply authentic. It was a moment suspended in time, where the past, present, and future converged in a dance of possibility and renewal. As dessert was served, a masterpiece of confectionery artistry paired with a rich, aromatic coffee, I realized that the evening had become far more than a mere dinner date. It was a turning point, a night that challenged me to question the boundaries of my own life and to dare to dream of a future filled with passion, adventure, and genuine connection. I looked around at Celeste and Adrian, whose eyes shone with the light of countless untold stories, and felt an overwhelming gratitude for this unexpected gift, the chance to step away from the confines of routine and to truly live in the moment. In the quiet aftermath of the meal, as the last notes of the piano faded into the background and the candle's flame danced in the gentle breeze from an open window, I sat in reflective silence. Every detail of the evening, the enigmatic notification, the luxurious surroundings, the warmth of human connection, had etched itself into my memory. I realized that life, with all its uncertainties and risks, was meant to be embraced fully, with all its messy, beautiful imperfections. As I prepared to leave the suite that night, I felt a mix of exhilaration and introspection. I knew that the experience would linger with me, influencing my choices and coloring my days with the hues of possibility. I stepped out into the cool night air with a renewed sense of purpose, determined to carry the spirit of that decadent dinner date into every facet of my life. This was only the beginning, a prologue to a journey that promised further encounters, deeper connections, and the ever-present challenge of stepping beyond the safe confines of the familiar. I walked back to the taxi with a lightness in my step, my mind abuzz with plans for a future reimagined, where every unexpected app notification could be a doorway to a world of wonder. Tonight, I had tasted the exquisite thrill of living boldly, and I knew I would never be the same again. And so, as I faded into the depths of the night with memories of sumptuous flavors, intimate whispers, and the gentle reassurance of kindred spirits, I couldn't help but smile at the realization that sometimes, the universe sends us invitations in the most unexpected forms. That single, sudden notification had unveiled a secret plan, a decadent dinner date at a luxurious hotel suite, that had forever altered the course of my life. My heart now beat with the promise of future adventures, and I carried with me the undeniable truth that every moment held the potential for transformation. I ended that night with a quiet vow to never again ignore the call of the unknown, to always be ready to embrace the extraordinary, and to keep my eyes open for those subtle signals that might one day lead me to yet another chapter in the grand, unpredictable narrative of my life. After that unforgettable night, I stepped out into the cool pre-dawn air feeling as if I had left a piece of my old self behind in that luxurious suite. The glittering city, still shrouded in the softness of early morning, seemed to pulse with new possibilities. I boarded a taxi with a heavy heart and an even heavier mind, replaying every detail of the decadent dinner date over and over. The gentle clink of crystal, the hushed conversations, the subtle interplay of candlelight and shadows, all of it had etched itself into my memory, sparking a curiosity that I hadn't felt in years. 4 days afterward, I drifted in a state of reflective wonder. My routine, once so predictably mundane, now felt interspersed with moments of quiet introspection. Each time my phone buzzed with an ordinary alert, a reminder about a meeting, a calendar notification, I couldn't help but search my heart for that same spark of mystery that the notification from that fateful night had ignited. I began to wonder if the universe was trying to tell me something, that there was an entire world of possibility lying just beyond the threshold of familiarity. In the weeks that followed, I found myself oscillating between a newfound confidence and a lingering sense of vulnerability. I recalled how I had hesitated at the door of Suite 1203, my pulse racing with uncertainty. That moment of boldness had been the catalyst for so many changes within me. I started challenging myself to seek out experiences that I had previously shunned for fear of the unknown. I signed up for art classes, joined a small book club in the evenings, and even began to frequent a quiet cafe where I could sit for hours with nothing but my thoughts and a steaming cup of coffee. Yet, amid these new endeavors, the memory of that decadent dinner remained ever present, a symbol of liberation and risk. One particular afternoon, while I was leaving the art studio after an unexpectedly cathartic session of painting, I received another app notification. This one was less cryptic than the first but no less intriguing. It simply said, "Tonight, meet at the Silver Orchid Hotel, room 1502. A new chapter awaits." My heart fluttered as I stared at the screen, reeling with questions. Could it be that the experience at Suite 1203 had merely been an overture? Was there an entire narrative being orchestrated for me, a series of secret encounters designed to break me free from the inertia of everyday life? I debated with myself for hours. Rationality screamed that this might be a dangerous game, a seduction of the senses that could lead to heartbreak or worse, but a deep, unspoken part of me urged me to dive headlong into the unknown once again. I decided to trust that inner voice, the one that had whispered the promise of transformation during that night of decadent indulgence. I spent the rest of the day preparing, choosing a dress that balanced sophistication with an air of mystery, and meticulously planning every detail of my appearance. I even revisited the hotel on the map, studying its layout, its entrances, and imagining the potential secrets hidden within its stately walls. When night finally arrived, I took a deep breath before stepping out. The taxi ride to the Silver Orchid Hotel felt interminable. Every streetlight, every passing storefront, seemed to carry an unspoken promise of what was to come. The hotel itself was a vision of modern elegance, sleek lines blended with a touch of classic grandeur, polished marble floors, and a lobby that was as much a piece of art as it was a space for guests. I checked in with a practiced calm, though my heart was pounding as I made my way to room 1502. I paused outside the door of the room, its brass numbers gleaming under a soft light. My hand trembled as I reached for the knob, and with a quiet click, I stepped into an ambience that was strikingly different from Suite 1203. The room at the Silver Orchid was expansive, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city skyline, a tapestry of lights that shimmered against the velvet of the night. Rich, dark wood accents and modern art pieces created an atmosphere that was both inviting and mysterious. A long dining table was set near one window, adorned with fine china, flickering candles, and a bouquet of dark red roses that filled the air with their heady perfume. Before I could settle into the chair, the door opened, and a woman entered. She was elegant in a way that was both understated and undeniably powerful. Her dark hair was pulled back in a loose chignon, and her eyes shone with a mixture of determination and empathy. "Good evening," she said, her voice calm and measured. "I'm Seraphine." She moved gracefully, as if every step was choreographed by the very essence of the night. "I've been expecting you. Please, come sit with me." Her presence was magnetic, and as she led me to the table, I noticed that every detail of the room seemed deliberately arranged to evoke emotion, a delicate balance of light, shadow, and color that felt like a carefully composed symphony. Seraphine took her seat across from me, and I felt an almost imperceptible shift in the air, as if I had been drawn into a secret dialogue between my past self and the person I was beginning to discover. The dinner began with a course of exquisite amuse-bouches, each one a tiny explosion of flavor that ignited memories of distant, almost forgotten pleasures. As we ate, Seraphine spoke in soft, measured tones about the philosophy behind tonight's gathering. "This isn't just about food," she explained. "It's about the art of living, to embrace each moment, to understand that every bite, every sip, carries with it the essence of a story. Our meals are meant to remind us that life is to be savored, not merely consumed." Her words resonated with me, echoing the sentiments I had felt during that first decadent dinner. Between courses, the conversation turned personal. I found myself opening up about the monotony that had defined so many years of my life, the safe choices that had, in retrospect, felt like small betrayals of my true self. Seraphine listened with a quiet intensity, her eyes never leaving mine, as if she were reading the unspoken truths hidden within. She, too, shared her story, a tale of transformation born out of heartbreak and a relentless search for beauty in the most unexpected places. "I believe," she said, "that life is a series of revelations. Sometimes, it takes a spark, a sudden notification, an unexpected invitation, to remind us of who we really are." As the courses progressed, a rich seafood risotto that melted delicately on the tongue, followed by a symphony of flavors in a slow-cooked lamb dish, and finally, a dessert that was a masterful play on bittersweet contrasts. I felt as though I were on a journey not only of taste but of soul. Each dish evoked emotions I had long suppressed, the sweet nostalgia of youth, the bittersweet ache of lost love, the fiery passion of dreams deferred. With each course, my heart softened and my mind expanded, opening up to the possibility that life might be more than just a series of safe, predictable moments. After dinner, As the last notes of our conversation dissolved into a comfortable silence, Seraphine suggested that we step out onto the hotel's private terrace. "There's something I'd like to show you," she said softly, her eyes hinting at secrets yet to be revealed. We walked down a corridor lined with abstract sculptures and entered a spacious terrace where the city sprawled beneath us like a living, breathing canvas. The cool night air was filled with the soft murmur of distant traffic and the gentle rustle of leaves. On the terrace, Seraphine led me to a small, secluded seating area, arranged with plush chairs and low tables adorned with flickering candles. Here, away from the confines of the dining room, we continued our dialogue. She began to speak of fate, chance, and the delicate interplay of moments that define our existence. "Tonight," she said, "you've been given the opportunity to experience something truly transformative. Not every day does life offer you the chance to step outside the bounds of what you know and into a realm where every detail is designed to awaken your senses." Her words, imbued with a gentle wisdom, resonated deeply. I realized that I had been living in a state of suspended animation, safe, comfortable, yet devoid of the vibrancy that comes from embracing the unknown. In that intimate space, with the city's heartbeat echoing softly around us, I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I spoke of my deepest fears, of how routine had slowly dulled my passions, of the quiet sorrow of dreams left unfulfilled, and Seraphine listened with unwavering compassion. In her eyes, I saw the reflection of a woman who had once walked a similar path, who had chosen to break free from the chains of convention to rediscover the beauty of life. Time seemed to slow as the conversation deepened. The night turned into early morning, and with every word exchanged, I felt layers of my old self peeling away, revealing a core of authenticity and raw emotion that had long been hidden. Seraphine's stories of past adventures and quiet rebellions wove into mine, creating a tapestry of shared understanding. I began to realize that tonight was not merely a dinner date or an isolated escapade, it was a profound invitation to live more fully, to seize each moment as a chance for rebirth. As the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, casting a soft glow over the terrace, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Seraphine's eyes sparkled in the gentle light as she smiled. "You've taken the first step," she murmured, "and that is always the hardest part. Remember this night, remember the courage it took to break free from the ordinary, and carry it with you as you move forward." Her words, like a benediction, filled me with a serene determination. After a final, lingering moment on the terrace, I returned to my room. Alone with my thoughts, I sat by the window and watched as the city awakened, a sprawling canvas of possibilities bathed in the gentle hues of morning. I found myself writing in a leather-bound journal, my pen capturing every detail of the night's revelations, the sumptuous tastes, the intimate conversations, the quiet moments of reflection under the starlit sky. In those pages, I vowed to honor the transformation that had taken root within me, to seek out beauty and authenticity in every fleeting moment, and to never again allow routine to smother the spark of possibility. Over the following weeks, I carried the lessons of that night like a secret talisman. I found myself more attuned to the subtle interplay of chance and destiny in everyday life. Simple moments, a chance encounter on the subway, the unexpected kindness of a stranger, a fleeting conversation in a crowded cafe, took on a new significance. I began to believe that life, in all its unpredictable glory, was a mosaic of moments waiting to be embraced, each one a stepping stone toward a more vibrant, authentic existence. Yet, even as I moved forward with renewed purpose, the memory of that decadent dinner date continued to haunt and inspire me. I would often find myself gazing out at the cityscape from my apartment window, wondering about the paths that led to that transformative evening. I recalled the enigmatic notification, the sumptuous suite, and the two extraordinary individuals, Seraphine and Adrian, whose brief appearances had sparked a revolution in my soul. Their presence had shown me that sometimes, the most profound experiences are hidden in the spaces between routine and spontaneity, in the moments that demand we trust in the beauty of the unknown. One evening, nearly a month after that revelatory night, I received another app notification. This time, it was more detailed. "Join us again. Tomorrow night. The Celestial Atrium, Penthouse Suite. Come prepared for an experience beyond words." My heart raced at the thought of another secret rendezvous, a continuation of the journey that had so irrevocably altered my perspective. I hesitated only briefly, recalling the transformation that had begun with that first notification. With a determined nod to myself, I accepted the invitation. The next day was a blur of anticipation and quiet excitement. I meticulously prepared for the new adventure, selecting an outfit that spoke to both elegance and mystery, and allowing myself to be carried away by the promise of yet another secret chapter. The Celestial Atrium was an event I had heard whispers about, a gathering known only to those who dared to live on the edge of convention, where art, music, and intimate conversation melded together into an unforgettable sensory experience. That night, as I stepped into the penthouse suite of a towering building, I was greeted by a scene that took my breath away. The room was vast and open, its high ceilings and panoramic windows framing a view of the city that stretched out like a glittering tapestry. Soft, ambient music filled the space, and the decor was a mesmerizing blend of modern minimalism and ethereal touches, floating lanterns, cascading water features, and art installations that challenged the boundaries of perception. I was greeted by a host whose presence was both regal and warm. "Welcome," she said, her voice carrying the weight of hidden knowledge. "We're delighted you could join us tonight." Her name was Isadora, and she exuded an air of quiet authority, as if she were the guardian of this secret realm. As she led me through the atrium, I encountered a diverse array of individuals, artists, writers, musicians, and seekers, each absorbed in the collective magic of the evening. It was a community of souls, each on their own quest for meaning, united by the shared understanding that life's true beauty lay in the unexpected. I found a seat in a secluded corner where soft velvet cushions and intimate lighting created an atmosphere of refuge and reflection. Over the course of the evening, conversations flowed like a gentle river, each word a spark that lit up the darkness of routine. I reconnected with a few familiar faces, others who, like me, had answered the call of that initial decadent dinner, and I was introduced to new ones whose stories were as rich and intricate as the art that adorned the walls. In one particularly moving conversation, a poet named Matteo recited verses that seemed to capture the very essence of transformation. His words, delicate and powerful, spoke of rebirth and the cyclical nature of time, of how every ending is but a prelude to a new beginning. I listened, enraptured, feeling that each syllable was a reminder of the beauty inherent in taking risks, in stepping beyond the boundaries of comfort. The night deepened, and as the music shifted to a slower, more introspective melody, I felt a profound connection to this gathering of kindred spirits. It was as if, for one shimmering evening, the barriers between individual lives dissolved, leaving behind only the raw, unfiltered expression of our shared humanity. As midnight approached once again, I stepped out onto a private balcony that overlooked the city's sleeping heart. The view was breathtaking, a sea of twinkling lights, the quiet hum of life continuing far below, and a sky so vast and endless it seemed to cradle the dreams of all who gazed upward. Standing there, I allowed myself a moment of solitude, reflecting on the journey that had brought me from that first, mysterious app notification to this magnificent celebration of life. I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the risks I had taken and the beauty I had discovered along the way. Each new invitation, each secret encounter, had woven itself into the tapestry of my existence, adding layers of color and texture to a life that had once been painfully monochrome. In that moment, I realized that the journey was far from over. The decadent dinner dates, the whispered secrets shared in luxurious suites, and the connections forged in the crucible of vulnerability had all been stepping stones toward a greater truth, that life, in all its unpredictability, is a celebration of possibility. And so, as the first rays of dawn began to paint the sky with hues of gold and rose, I made a silent vow to continue embracing every unexpected invitation, every chance encounter, with an open heart and a fearless spirit. I returned to my apartment that morning with a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet determination to live authentically and to keep the flames of spontaneity burning bright within me. The memories of that night at the Celestial Atrium became a beacon, guiding me through the complexities of everyday life. I began to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, a conversation with a stranger on the bus, the gentle caress of the wind on a brisk day, the subtle dance of shadows and light in a familiar street. Every moment was imbued with the potential for magic, if only I had the courage to look beyond the surface. In the weeks and months that followed, I continued to receive mysterious notifications, each one a doorway to a new experience, a new chapter in the unfolding narrative of my life. I learned to trust in the unknown, to surrender to the unpredictable currents of fate, and to relish the beauty that lay in every secret rendezvous. I discovered that by daring to step out of my comfort zone, I was not only transforming my own life but also inspiring those around me to seek out their own adventures. Conversations grew deeper, relationships became richer, and every shared smile was a testament to the extraordinary power of embracing vulnerability. Looking back now, I understand that the sudden app notification that once startled me into a decadent dinner date was not an isolated incident, it was the beginning of an ongoing journey of self-discovery and connection. It taught me that the universe is constantly sending us invitations to break free from our self-imposed limitations, to taste the forbidden fruits of passion and possibility, and to rewrite the narrative of our lives with bold, uncompromising authenticity. Even as I continue on this winding path, I carry with me the lessons of those transformative nights. I have come to see that every unexpected moment, every secret plan unveiled in a fleeting app notification, is an opportunity to reimagine who we are and what we can become. And though the future remains a tapestry of uncertainties, I step forward with a heart full of hope, ready to embrace every decadent dinner, every whispered secret, and every chance encounter that promises to reveal the boundless beauty of life. Thus, as I sit here now, penning these reflections in the quiet hours of another early morning, I know that my journey is far from over. Each new invitation is a call to adventure, a reminder that the world is vast, full of hidden wonders waiting to be discovered. I hold tight to the memories of decadent hotel suites, sumptuous meals, and the faces of those who have touched my soul. And with every sunrise, I continue to answer the call of the unknown, trusting that the path ahead will lead me to ever greater heights of passion, creativity, and human connection. In the delicate balance between risk and reward, between the known and the mysterious, I have found the true essence of life, a tapestry woven from threads of vulnerability, beauty, and courage. And so, with a spirit unbound and a heart brimming with possibility, I step into each new day, forever grateful for that first, sudden app notification that unveiled secret plans for a decadent dinner date, and for every secret rendezvous that has since illuminated the endless, wondrous tapestry of my existence.